This is the kind of crap that happens in China, where you have political prisoners who were rounded up and disappeared.
The turnout was smaller than expected as protesters gathered on September 18th to rally support for those charged in the January 6th insurrection.
It's really to draw attention to prisoners of conscience who are being not prosecuted, but really persecuted.
18th and 6th, very, very different, but same kind of trends in terms of individuals being willing not just to, read more conspiracy theories or, engage in more spreading of disinformation, but to actually mobilize offline in furtherance of those goals.
Protesters called for due process of the so-called political prisoners charged with trespassing and related offenses.
They came here peacefully, and it was set up by the police inside or some evil people.
Well, they've got to let the people go who didn't commit violent offenses.
People might not have committed violence, but every single person saw violence being committed and joined the crowd. They're going to get fairly light punishment sentences if it's just trespassing.
Counter-protesters condemned the actions of those charged and called for more intense prosecution.
If I break the front door of that building right there and you follow me in, guess what? You're just as guilty as I am.
The idea that, some officer, Capitol officer somewhere, in fear, opened the doors that suddenly transformed into a entirely legal, peaceful thing is absurd. If you're sufficiently antagonistic to the other side, you're afraid of the other side, you'll excuse pretty much any behavior.
Some of the people I interviewed played down the violence of the individuals and groups that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They said that the events of that day were exaggerated by the media, and they claimed that violence on the left is a bigger concern to democracy.
Compared to considering that Antifa and BLM got bail, or even no bail, didn't even have to pay bail and were released for doing much more than any of them did. I mean, at the most, there were a couple of windows broken and a couple of doors pushed open.
But you really haven't seen any kind of sustained engagement from the anarchist violent extremist kind of subset that is kind of moved towards mass casualty plots in the way that we see very commonly among white supremacists, anti-government, neo-Nazi, any of those folks.
The crowd may not have been large at this event, but the debate over First Amendment rights continues across the country. For Washington Metro News, I'm Baxter Wareham.